YouTube, Will from Will Development. This is my 290th weekly update. Rounding up to that big old 300 number, huh? Pretty cool stuff, actually. So, still doing some at-home training. I guess predominantly at-home training since that's all that's available right now. But things are going pretty well this week. Earlier in the week was a little bit lighter for everything. Did some push pressing, didn't hit any magical numbers. I actually ended up failing out at 185. Went for 175 and just, it shot up pretty good. And then 185 just took me down. I don't know what it was. I think my body's not used to having that kind of weight on me. So one of the things I'm going to start implementing is some more front holds, that kind of thing. Maybe even some like quarter front squats or something like that, just to kind of get used to that feeling of having the weight here and start squatting with it, just with more weight, so I can, like I said, so I can get used to it. Also thinking about adjusting my sort of grip on the bar. Might be a little too narrow for push pressing right now, so I think I might go a little bit wider just to accommodate that. I'm also dealing with a little bit of a shoulder into arm thing. Been doing a little bit of rehab and some prehab to try to work on it. And, I did pressing today just a little bit with the log and then a little bit of benching, and it didn't flare up as bad as, say, Monday or Tuesday when it did, but it wasn't great. Let's just put it that way. Monday did some squatting and a little bit of deadlifting. I'm squatting and deadlifting twice a week now, trying to press twice a week also. And I don't have any kind of program worked out. I'm just kind of doing what I do. No 2 video this week, by the way. Didn't grab any footage. Kind of wish I had, because some cool stuff did happen. But did squatting earlier in the week. I think I did like 3 sets of 4 at like 285 or something like that. And then deadlifting, I think I just worked up to like a set of 5 or 6 at like 3 something. It wasn't the whole purpose of me deadlifting, specifically deadlifting twice a week, is simply so I get a little more volume with my deadlifting. I felt like just once a week wasn't quite enough. So I tend to have like a lighter day and then a more moderate day or a heavy day if it's feeling right. But I'd like to do every other week something along the lines of a heavy deadlift day, usually as my second day, just to have it and just to touch those bigger numbers. And so far that's worked out well. Wednesday was a little bit of yoga. Been doing pull-ups every day, except for today, just because everything feels terrible today. So I was like, you know what, take a day off from everything, just do a little bit of movement, which I did do a little bit of movement. Like I said, did a little bit of log and a little bit of benching today. And I'm just going to call it for today, and tomorrow I'll do my pull-ups again. Get back on that horse. Trying to do pull-ups 6 days a week, essentially, is what my goal is. And so far it's been working out well. Getting really good at pull-ups, which is the goal. Just a tiny little goal, just during all these trying times. I wanted to have a goal that I could hit that I knew would be not necessarily easy, because it hasn't been easy, but something that was very attainable with just a little bit of extra work. And doing pull-ups every day and getting better at pull-ups is definitely a very achievable goal. For anybody, but for me especially, because it's not that I'm bad at pull-ups, I just wanted to be good at them. I wanted to be basically any day of the week somebody jumps up and says, hey, do 15 pull-ups, and I can do it. And when this all started, that was not the case, and right now I feel more confident in my ability to do that. But I can't guarantee it just yet, so I want to be able to have that guarantee. And 15 is just a random number. It's not, that's not even really the goal. It's just do more pull-ups. So I'm doing them. Thursday was a really good day. That was yesterday. Really good day for everything. I hit a 340 on squats for a single. Unfortunately, my hip and my back are kind of funny right now. But it seems like after squatting, they always tend to feel a little bit better. It's just literally that first rep feels like hell, and then the second rep feels fine. So I'm sort of just gritting my teeth when I'm doing heavy singles now, where it's like, just get through it, man, and you'll do it. And the power's there, the strength is there. So it's one of those, like, I'm not too weak to do this weight. It just hurts a lot. And nothing's breaking, nothing's like tearing down when I do it. There's just something wrong with something set up on this side. And I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, but I'm still working on it. I'm still doing certain movements to try to figure out, okay, where does this hurt? It must be this, that kind of thing. And it's gotten better over time. But I tell you what, doing those heavy singles, it's really rough. It's a lot of pain in the movement, and then once it's over, which is good. So it's one of those, like, I feel like if I just kind of grit my teeth and get through it, and just keep squatting and deadlifting, eventually it'll just sort of work itself out. That's my new plan of attack, on top of all the other things I already do. Some core work throughout the week, that kind of thing. And I have found that overhead pressing seems to help it. Not exactly sure. I need to kind of diagnose what exactly it is about pressing overhead that seems to make it feel better, but it's always a work in progress, and it's not at the point where I can't perform. It's not taking strength from me, so here we are. So I hit 340 on squat, and I wanted a heavy single on deadlift, and I went up to 405, and I was like, cool, that actually flew up pretty good, kind of like it did last week. I said, I'm going to try 425. I want to beat my old PR. And just because of the setup I have, I was just like, screw it, just throw all these extra plates on. And I threw on everything I had except for the 25s, and it added up to 430, and I went to pull it, hook grip, and I tried twice, and my thumbs and hands were like, that's not happening today. And I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll strap up. Normally when I pull, I tend to just do hook grip just because I like it. And I like the idea of, like, oh, you want a deadlift? Okay, cool. And I can always hook grip it and be fine to do it. When I pulled my 420, every rep I had ever pulled as a PR over 400 was always with hook grip. So this is one of the few times it's actually failed me, so to speak. And it didn't really fail. It's just like I could tell it wasn't going to make it through this time. So I said, damn, and I went over, grabbed the straps, put them on real fast because I didn't feel burned out or anything. Got down on the knee, strapped up real quick, and then went to pull it, and it wasn't fast by any means, but I got it, So that's actually a lifetime PR for me on deadlift 430. No idea how it looked. It didn't feel like it was god-awful, but it definitely felt like it probably wasn't perfect. And that's fine. When it comes to PRs and things like that, I'm not one of the people, I don't subscribe to the idea that every single rep needs to be totally perfect, necessarily. There's a little bit of leeway that can be made, especially when you're going for, like, over 100%. And I think as long as you don't make a habit out of it, you'll be okay. Now, when you look at somebody and every single one of their PRs looks like garbage, and then when they come back down and they're doing, sub 100 at this point, let's say somebody pulls 405, that's their max, and then you see videos of them doing like 365 and it looks exactly the same, and it's not good. To me, that's when you're playing with fire, and some people can pull poorly for forever and never have any problems, and then some people can pull poorly once, and that's it. But, when you really look at it, there's tons of people that have been, done deadlifts with arguably poor form, and they're fine. They don't have any symptoms at all. So it's one of those funny things where I don't like when people make blanket statements like, oh, deadlifting like this is bad. I wouldn't say that. I think the blanket statement I would use is this puts you at risk, a higher risk than not pulling in a poor fashion. Let's put it that way. Same thing with any exercise, benching, even squatting. All those, I would never say, doing it this way is bad. It's like, well, it's not necessarily bad, but it definitely puts you at a higher risk. So you're playing with fire, and if you feel like it, I'm not going to tell somebody what to do. Mostly because I'm not a coach. Now, if I was a coach, I would probably have a different perspective on it, and I might be like, we're not going to do this because I'm not going to be responsible for you, blowing out your back just because we wanted to get that extra 3 pounds on a lift that really didn't matter at the end of the day. So that's just some thoughts on things, but it was very exciting to pull that, break my old PR by 10 pounds in suboptimal conditions, essentially, as we'll call them. But it makes me excited for the future. And also, squatting 340, I believe that's the most I've squatted since this injury happened. So that's pretty cool too. And I think that's about all I've got to say about this week. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Whatever you deem necessary as safe, whatever precautions you deem necessary to keep yourself safe, I hope you are abiding by them. And remember, just because you're in quarantine doesn't mean you can't pull a PR. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?